Well, welcome to Facts and Two Cents, guys. Hi, hi, Brenda. I see you, and Fancy, and Sylvia, and Chantal, and Mira. I see all you guys. Hi, Sugar Queen. Oh, wow, that is so cool. I love that. And Annie. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Sylvia, that you can hear me. I'm so happy. Thank you guys for my little sort of impromptu live thing. You guys are going to be helping me today. So this is kind of like a tester because, excuse me, the first time I did a live, I was outside, so I wasn't using any photos or anything like that. And so this time is going to be different because I am testing out if I could do photos and screenshot stuff by myself. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna try it, and this is gonna be a whole mess. Hey, Kathy, it is gonna be a whole mess. And so, thank you so much. Lydia's on here too. Lydia's helping me out. Thank you so much, Lydia, for your encouragement. Pretty, and that was just really awesome. So it's going to be. This is a scary thing. I don't know if you guys know. There's this book that's called. It is called. If you want to walk on water, you have to get out of the boat. And basically talking about, if whatever you want to do, there's going to be fear. And if you want to master it, you're going to have to get out of the boat of comfort and get out and walk on water and chance falling into the deep. So this is going to be my falling into the deep with this. Because one, live things scare me to death, and then two, doing it on a platform that I don't really know scare me to death. So thank you guys for coming by and being such great encouragement. So, but anyways, I wanted to do this because I saw this article, and again, you guys know who we are. Facts and Two Cents. We are here for the Duke and Duchess of Suffolk. That's all we support. And sometimes when they're doing their thing, we jump across the pond, which is what I'm going to do. I know other things are happening around them, not necessarily with them. And I think Baron covered it earlier today, and so I am not going to cover it. Only one because Meghan and her attorney basically said they're going to give it minimum attention. So therefore, I will give it no attention. I will not be giving the other sister any attention whatsoever. So, but anyways, I was reading this article. Yeah, well, actually, I saw this front page yesterday, and I tweeted about it, but I didn't really see the article. And it was just very interesting to me. And I thought, well, I wonder what everybody else thought about that. And it was really interesting. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but this is Miss Camilla. And she is going through her thing. I think she and Prince Charles went to a Ukrainian church, and they were there, and apparently she was anguished, according to the Daily Mail, anguished in tears. And if you know me, I don't really, cover things that, or articles in the Daily Mail. But I just thought this was so interesting because of what it is and what they're doing. And knowing the royal family and the Daily Mail, when you see stuff like this in the Daily Mail, there's something they're not saying. And so if you look at the highlighted part, it talks about, Duchess makes as Putin is accused of full-scale genocide after the devastating new blitz, Duchess makes substantial donation to the Mail's refugee appeal. And I was just like, huh? I mean, you know that, the royal family have their invisible contract with the Daily Mail, but it was just like, oh, I guess it's not invisible. One, it's not invisible anymore, and I guess now they don't really care that it's not invisible anymore, you know. And it's very interesting that Camilla chooses the Daily Mail because there are so many other people that are doing, donations for Ukraine, and for her to choose the Daily Mail, it's just like, are you really? I mean, I know you have a, I know you have a invisible contract and all, but you know, Prince Charles, for example, he donated to the Red Cross, and he donated to the World Jewish Relief, and the Queen donated to like DEC, which is the Disaster Emergency Committee. Even if you don't donate to those, I mean, even President Zelensky, who is, have bombs raining down on his head right now, he he even put up a link where people, if you want to donate to help Ukraine and Ukrainians, they could donate to that. And it's just interesting to me that of all the places that Camilla could choose to donate, she chose the Daily Mail. She does their donation, and again, right now, as you can see, the Daily Mail is doing their, I'm being a good person right now. I'm doing a fundraiser for needy people, so that later on when they start harassing and abusing people, they can put up that, well, I did something good, so I'm okay, I get a pass. And so it just was really interesting to me. And this reporter, Peter Hunt. I don't know if you guys know Peter Hunt. If you're on Twitter, you might come across him. But he even tweeted about it, and he said, the Queen has made a generous donation to decap appeal for Ukraine. Camilla has given the Mail the appeal. Has given to the Mail appeal. As I wrote last month, Camilla has been canny. She's kept the media close and the Daily Mail even closer. And Peter Hunt, and if you don't know him, he used to be a reporter, a royal reporter for the BBC a little while back, and he now reports for the Spectator. So he writes a bunch of shady articles about the royal family. But he wrote that same quote in an article for the Spectator right when the Queen had given Camilla and Charles the blessing that she's going to be the Queen consort. And so he wrote exactly that. Camilla has been canny. She kept the media close and the Daily Mail closer. I want to get back to a little bit about that later. But it was very interesting again that, of all the people Camilla could choose to donate to, that is who she chose to donate to. And, it's so funny because if she and I said, she donated money to a rag newspaper, so they won't write negatively about exactly, Anna, exactly. That's why she did it, so they won't come after her. I guess like their payment was due or something. Their Daily Mail or Tabloids bill was due, so she, and apparently I don't know because they didn't say the amount, but someone wrote that they think it's like 2.5 million. I have no idea how much she I don't know how much she donated, but it was just like, oh hey, Church Nelly and Reba and Margaret, I see you guys, and Glenn, I see you guys. But it was just really, so we're talking about Queen Camilla's donation to the Daily Mail. And so it's just like it's interesting at how, before it was kind of hush hush that the invisible contract is there, but now it seems like she probably thinking, I don't care. Now everybody knows there's an invisible, well, not invisible anymore, visible contract. So I might as well just do it in the open, and I guess that's okay for, Clarence House. Anyways, but it was just really interesting. And the thing about it is, if that's all you knew about the story, you kind of wouldn't know about other stuff that was happening if you hadn't paid attention. And if I wasn't on Twitter, I honestly would not have known. Because while this was happening over at the Daily Mail, another news story was dropping. And this is the story that was dropping. Gabriel Pagrand, and I don't know, I mentioned him quite a few times with, if you guys, have seen the episodes that I did with, cash for access, Prince Charles's corruption, and all of that stuff, a lot of the reporting has come from this guy. And I've been on his case a couple of times because, wrong reporting or forgetting what he reports. But he's been really good and consistent on this because he said Tory chairman Ben Elliott's concierge firm has suddenly removed the webpage about his Russian business. It comes after scrutiny of its work for billionaire oligarchs close to Putin. Per archived version, quintessentially had 50 plus lifestyle managers in Moscow helping elite clients. And why this is important and why it relates to Camilla is because if you remember from the first cash for access thing we did and the first cash for access story that broke in the Times from this same guy, Ben Elliot is Camilla's nephew. And the same time this story broke, all of a sudden we saw the big news headline of Camilla donating to the Daily Mail. And what happened to this story? It kind of got brushed under the table. Not many people talking about it. And if you're really not on Twitter, you really don't know about this. So what I believe happened is Camilla knew this was coming out, and she did her big thing with the Daily Mail to cover this because the Daily Mail is the biggest newspaper in the UK. And if they're not covering this, or if they probably just hid this somewhere, not many people know this. And not many people probably know that Ben Elliot is Camilla's nephew. And so Ben Elliot is this guy. He has, again, he is the Tory chairman, or at least co-chairman, and he works with Boris Johnson. I don't know how it is that this guy works with Boris Johnson, has this company, quintessentially, which basically caters to the rich and shameless, the really super wealthy. It's like whatever you need, they provide, whether it's, housing, schools, art, parties, whatever, they provide it. And this guy, so they provide the same services in Russia. And when this broke, what happened with this is the minute all that big stuff started happening with Putin, Ben Elliot decided to hide the fact that he has, connections to Russia, and he decided to pull the Russian connection off of his page because before that, Ben Elliot was advertising his relationship with Russia and his relationship and all the great things he's doing in Moscow with billionaires. And he completely pulled everything off his page about Russia. And I mean, which, a lot of people are not, no longer with Russia. But the fact of the matter is the fact that this happened right exactly the time when Camilla's big news of her donating and that donating to the Daily Mail, and that became the big news. And this is what it says about quintessentially in Russia. Quintessentially, Russia is nearly 15 years has nearly 15 years experience providing luxury lifestyle management service to Russia's elite and corporate members. Our office employs 50 lifestyle managers, each of whom have completed a specialized training program. They work around the clock 365 days per year to provide the personal concierge services for each member, from restaurant bookings to backstage concerts, access, and bespoke luxury lifestyle to our clients as at our clients' fingertips. And the thing about a lot of his clients is a lot of them have connection to Vladimir Putin. As you can see from here, it's like, they a lot of these oligarchs, they move to England, they enroll their kids in British schools, quintessentially helps them to hook up with, schools in England. And, again, as with one of his clients, Michael Lessin, who actually had a very unfortunate death, mysterious death as they called him. He was he was an advisor to Putin. So when all this stuff was going on with Russia and everybody started, hating Russia and pulling their stuff from Russia, Ben Elliot decided to hide because one of the things, I mean, I was asking them a lot, like, it's funny that Harry and Meghan are the ones that are out there, supporting Ukraine. They did it first, supporting and standing with Ukraine and condemning the invasion. And for like what 4 or 5 days, you didn't hear a word. Well, 2 days before heard something from Kensington Palace and Prince Charles, who is going to be the next king. Nothing. Almost nothing. You heard from Prince Charles for like 4 days, you know? And it was just like, you suppose you're going to be the future king. Why aren't you speaking up? And then you realize, like, oh, wait. Oh, Royal Sussex. Thank you so much, Bart. Oh, you're so precious. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, um, oh, now you got me off my track. I was just like, yes, Churchill, yes, Mitch McConnell. You see the same thing in the U.S. Mitch McConnell is also owned by the Russians. And it amazes me in the US as it is in the UK how these people could be so close to leaders who are running the country, yet have these very close relationship to someone like Vladimir Putin, who basically is buying the country, corrupting just about everything, and it's amazing to me. And then you look again, if you guys remember, this is the same Ben Elliot who, when this whole thing started, you know, when the whole thing started with the cash for access, the first story we heard about was Ben Elliot providing cash for access to Prince Charles. And if you guys remember, we did a story on this guy, Mr. Mohammed Amersi, who told us that that is what Ben Elliot was doing. Again, Ben Elliot is the chairman, the co-chairman of the Tory party. And Ben Elliot, again, his company quintessentially, they have these tiers. And they have these layers where if you're at the bottom tier or a lower tier, they will upsell you to whatever their higher tier is. And one of the things that they will do, especially for the top tier, is to sell you. They would the chance to meet a royal like Prince Charles. If you move up to this other level, you can meet Prince Charles. You can have a meeting with Prince Charles. And that is what was promised to Mr. Amersi, and he did the whole thing. He met. They flew him in. Chauffeur drove him to Dumfries House. Yes, that same Dumfries House that is at the heart of all this mess. Met with Prince Charles, donated up to at least, I think, $1.5 million to Prince Charles's charities and all of those things. And he's the one that actually outed Ben Elliot with the cash for access thing. And of course, our beloved Prince is like, who, me? I don't know. Black Queen, thank you so much. I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yes, Prince Charles again. This was the first of the I don't know nothing about this. I am completely innocent. Nobody told me about this. This was the beginning of the reveals of all the people that were part of this cash for access scheme. And again, the thing about it, I keep going back to, I don't understand how these people could be this close to people with these positions that are close to who are leading the country, that can have these kind of relationship with people who are actually corrupting the government, corrupting people. And it's just like, are you kidding me? And so, and the thing about it is, even though people have known this story with Ben Mercy came out in July. That was when this whole thing started. And here we are, and March of 2022, and Ben Elliot still has his job, as with all those other Republicans in the U.S. who still have their jobs, you know, and nobody seems to care, you know? And so, going back to Camilla and the fact that she was able to use the Daily Mail to hide this, to sort of, and even though the story is there, it was being reported, with um with Ben Elliot, the story is out there. The majority of people didn't know it, and so I started thinking about Camilla and just her relationship with the Daily Mail and how much the Daily Mail, and she's used the Daily Mail to build, whenever she needs something, the Daily Mail is right there. If you think back, I mean, when was the last time you ever saw, like, you've seen a really bad article about Camilla? Like the Daily Mail wrote something trashing her, or even say the Sun or one of those papers. You haven't, because Camilla has this, she basically, and what I to understand about her relationship, Camilla is basically on best friends terms with most of the tabloid editors, especially the Daily Mail. As Peter Hunt says, she keeps the press close and the Daily Mail closer. And so I came across this article a little while ago, and it was talking about, how Meghan and Harry hate the Daily. Hey, Sheila, I see you. And Hawkeye Ellen, I see you. Yeah. So, anyways, so I ran into this article about it. It says the invisible the invisible pact binding the UK royals and their tabloid tormentors. And one of the things it talked about, which I found so interesting, is it says, like Meghan Markle, the Duchess, which is Camilla, gave a lengthy interview about the horrid coverage that left her desperate and trapped at home. This was the coverage she was getting, when she was really horrible to Princess Diana, and for all the horrible things she did to Princess Diana. And so she had horrible coverage. Like the press went after her. I guess probably all of England went after her. And it says, but she gave it it says, like Meghan Markle, the Duchess gave a lengthy interview about the horrid coverage that left her desperate and trapped at home. But she gave it to the Mail on Sunday, and its then editor, Gordy Gregg. It was the culmination of a long strategy to win over the Mail. And this is way back in the Diana days when she did this, that Camilla had been on a mission to befriend everyone in the press. I guess she probably felt like, look, the only way I'm going to get any kind of coverage, if I'm going to be, a queen, I'm sure back then she was probably thinking, if I'm going to be queen, because I'm going to have Charles, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get good coverage and for people to like me. And if the Daily Mail is the biggest newspaper, the Sun is the biggest newspaper, and the Top and the Mirror and Express, they are some of the biggest, papers. Oh, thank you, Ladyfoot. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Um, and I'm thinking that's probably what she's thinking. Then I'm gonna have to befriend these people. I'm gonna have to become their best friend so they will say nice things about me. And that's what she did. And then not only did she do that, she went a little further. It says Camilla is today patron of the Guild of Sin Bride, the journalist church on Fleet Street, a spiritual home to all who work in the media. And according to Penny Jr. says, Camilla is different. She knows the name of every royal reporter. She knows about their children. And as a result, they love her. She was the most unpopular woman, vilified. She turned it around just by being nice to the people who are reporting on her. And on one hand, you got to give her some credit. Like she knew what she needed to do and she did it. But on the other hand, you're seeing the relationship there. If I am nice to you, then you'll be nice to me. You know, never mind, integrity, journalistic integrity, and speaking the truth. Oh, thank you so much, Janet Lavallee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your donation. Thank you so much. But again, she, I guess that's what Camilla felt like. I am going to have to be friends with these people. I'm going to have to, do what I need. I mean, there was a video of her dancing with Arthur Edwards. There was like all this where she's always joking around with them. They really are her friends. And I have to wonder, it's like, how much of all of that gossip that ended up in the Daily Mail and ended up in the Sun and ended up in all of those things that came from Camilla. Because one of the things they always talk about is that she is a great gossip. She is a gossip. I mean, there was the story of Joe Biden when he was at the what is that green conference? I forgot the last one. I completely slipped my mind what the name of it is. But the conference, the environmental conference that just took place in Scotland. One of you guys in chat could remind me of what it was called. But Camilla leaked a story apparently to the tabloids about Joe Biden passing gas. And it was one of those things that was just like, really, Camilla? But apparently that's who she is. She is a great gossip. And so it really makes me wonder how much of those things that were told about Meghan, yes, Vinny, she did, and how G26, thank you so much, Nelly, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just like how much of those horrible stories that ended up in the Daily Mail and the Sun and the Mirror and Express, especially, came from Camilla. How many of those things came from her people to basically use, to down Meghan to rise her and whomever it is else up at the palace. It is really like, oh my gosh. Emily Andrews, yeah, I know you guys remember. I mean, we call her Emily Andrews for very good reason because she would just lie all the time. And so she used to work for the Sun, and then she basically got kicked out by Dan Wooten. She ran off to the Daily Mail. Lo and behold, Dan Wooten followed her there too, and basically she was kicked out again. And so now that she's been on the outs, I guess she feels like, well, now I can actually be honest about things. So when Queen Camilla, when the Queen had laid her hands on Camilla and crowned her the next queen, queen consort, Emily Andrews wrote this about it. She says, having met her several times, I really like Camilla, but the PR campaign and spin of the last week has been extraordinary. The DM, or Daily Mail, would have been the first paper to lay siege to any idea of Queen Camilla. Now they are putty in CH or Clarence House's hands. The invisible contract is real. And yes, this same invisible contract that when, Harry and Meghan talked about it, they were all like, what invisible contract? There's no invisible contract. There was no parties at the palace. There was no any of these. And how slowly they're all kind of fessing up now about all the things that Harry and Meghan talked about, And it's interesting here, because Emily Andrews worked as a royal reporter for the Daily Mail. She's like, yeah, Daily Mail would have been the first one to have, been clued in on this idea of Queen Camilla, and that yes, that invisible contract is real. And Emily is on the house now. She does not care what they think. She doesn't have to. And she actually said it too. She's like, she there's no one to, there's no access to be denied because she doesn't have access now anyway. So now she can speak the truth, you know. And she goes on to say after that, she says this is not about whether Camilla does or doesn't deserve the title. In my honest opinion, she does. It's about the palace spin, briefings, and how the papers shape image. And the best piece written this week is by Peter Hunt, and we're gonna get back to that in a second. But here she talks about how the press shape image, and that is pretty much what Camilla has been on from the day even before she married Prince Charles. Prince Charles's people and his mission since him and Camilla have been on, they've been out, and even before they were married, the whole thing was about getting people to like Camilla, doing everything they can to get people to like Camilla. And again, Camilla figured her best option was the Daily Mail, the Sun, the Mirror, the Express. And if you know, oh, thank you so much, Ty Fletcher. I see you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your donation. I so appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, and if now I forgot what I was saying. but the incredible thing for me is just how much he has relied on the tabloids to shape her image. You would think, I mean, if you, at least that's what I'm thinking, and I think that's Meghan's thinking. If you want to, one, appeal to people of, because you think of the royal family and you think, okay, these are people of class, they're of standing, they are supposed to be legitimate, they are heads of state. If you want to if you want your image built and you want to have a good image that people around the world could look up to, well, why would you go to tabloids? Why would that be the place you go to? And it's amazing to me that that's the route that the royal family has chosen. I mean, if you guys see, I mean, I don't know if you pay attention to the Royal Rota. If you don't know what the Royal Rota is, that is a group of newspapers that and print and TV media that exclusively cover the royal family, and they get the first information and they disseminate it out to everybody else. 5 out of the 7 news media are tabloids. And that's why Harry and Meghan are like, no, we're not working with the Royal Rota anymore because we're not working with these tabloids. And it's amazing to me that that's the choice that they made. And I think it's because, one, the royal family is all about publicity. It's all about, popularity. If people like them, or how many people know them, there are these endless polls that they do about how popular or unpopular. And now, of course, if you pay attention to any of the tabloid polls, it's always Meghan and Harry now at the bottom, and they're in like the minus column and all of this nonsense. Mind you, a lot of the poll is just the people that read their paper that they poll over and over, and that a lot of these people are paid pollsters, you know. And so for me, it's interesting how they have shaped her image so much that if you notice when the Queen bestowed this Queen Camilla, Queen Consort Camilla on us, that the press and the people that have been hyping her the most are royal reporters who work for the tabloids, especially the Daily Mail. They have been pretty much the only ones, and a few others, who have been really gung-ho about Camilla being queen consort. The majority of the other so-called legit press have been kind of lukewarm at best. And then the Daily Mail got irritated at Harry because he wouldn't, rubber stamp their nonsense and their manipulation of the public with this, Queen Camilla nonsense, because as we all know, the queen, this is like a, queen gets, maybe Charles to fund Prince Andrew, and then in return, she gave the blessings for Queen Camilla. That did not just come out of the queen's, good heart at all. That's very obvious. Um, but it's just really interesting that they do that, and how the Daily Mail has now, they've been the one on the Queen Camilla, Queen Camilla, Queen Camilla, and now they are, Queen Camilla is heartbroken and she's given us, and then the Daily Mail had the nerve to drop, oh, this is Peter Hunt's article, just a little bit about his article before we get to the latest of the Daily Mail, Queen Camilla, Queen Camilla's image rejuvenation. But this is what Peter Hunt said in the Spectator. He says, in the intervening years, Charles has made no secret about the fact that he wasn't happy at the prospect of his second wife receiving a downgraded title when he became king. And Camilla has been canny. She kept the media close and the Daily Mail even closer. And why did Camilla keep the Daily Mail closer? Because we get something like this. I kid you not. This was the day that somebody on Twitter posted a screenshot of this today, and I mean, everyone just burst out laughing. It was like, this is where we are. Move over, Kate. Camilla is the new queen of High Street. And it's like, as ridiculous as this is the kind of propaganda that over time people would buy into. And Church Nelly is laughing. I mean, just about everyone under this post had the laughing emojis on. Because you wouldn't think someone who called themselves a reporter would actually literally write this, but they did. And now you have to think like, oh my gosh, what is Kate Middleton saying today when she saw this? Because you got to think like, okay, Kate, maybe you are a little late on paying your bills to the Daily Mail. Maybe you're a little bit late, and, and you need to pay up so that they can give you good coverage, because they are starting to kick you to the curb. Meghan is not an option anymore. So Princess Kate, future Queen Kate is gonna have to pay up, because this is the kind of nonsense, and this is the kind of propaganda. Rose is like, what style? I know exactly what style. I'm looking at this like, yeah. But the sad part about this is, the more they keep writing this, people will start to believe it, because it's the same thing that happened with Meghan and Kate. Before Meghan came around, Kate had the most negative press. You guys remember, lazy. They were calling them lazy. Weighty Katie, the whole bit. Her and William were being badgered. I mean, I remember reading the most horrible article about their trip to England, their tour in I'm sorry, not England, India. Her and William's tour to India. That it was brutal, the coverage of that tour. They were called lazy. They were called boring. It was brutal. And all of a sudden, when Meghan came around, you started seeing articles like this, little by little, feeding. And basically what they're doing here is they're beginning to groom, or at least they started already, groom the public for exactly this. So the competition between Camilla and Kate. And this is exactly what they did to Kate and Meghan and Kate. And slowly by surely, now Kate is like Princess Queen Savior of the world. You would not believe it's the same person that they were writing about now that they were writing about before Meghan showed up. And when, Emily Andrews, yes, she is a liar, but she was very correct in here when she talked about how the media, and basically what they do is they groom the public, because nobody fact fact checks them. People just basically see the headline for the Daily Mail and they're like, okay, it's true, and run with it. So they know the more they plant these stories, eventually this rival, imagined or otherwise, is going to become a thing. Yes, yes, Mara. Kate is late on her payment. You know, and so for me, it was just very interesting to me, just how this whole thing where Camilla started out with just having this horrible reputation. She basically, you know, forged this marriage really with the Daily Mail where I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys have seen in the last, at least since Meghan has been around, because I wasn't following the royal family before Meghan. I could not pick these people out of a crowd other than Prince Harry. I could pick William, and then I could pick the Queen. The rest of and I think Prince Charles, and obviously Princess Diana. The rest of them, I didn't know who they were, and so I wasn't following them before, and so I just I don't remember since following Meghan and being clued into the British tabloids if I have ever really seen a horrible article written about Camilla. Maybe you guys have, and you can put it in the chat and you can let me know. But I haven't seen one, and so for me, it was just interesting that how she was able to basically use the Daily Mail and then the Daily Mail use her. And over time, where we can basically have a Queen Camilla heartbreak over Ukraine that can pretty much blanket and overshine. I know she's outshining. Yes, Church Nelly, she's outshining the relative, and she can blanket the press with this and blanket the coverage with this, with her I am mourning for Ukraine, and completely overshadow and completely cover up for her nephew Ben Elliot. And I'm like, wow. So that was just something I was thinking about. I mean, I don't know if it's interesting for you guys. It was just like but it was just interesting for me to see how the royal family are able to use the tabloid in this way. And I think what one of the things too I was thinking, and wrapping this up, I'm just blabbing, but it's just how vile this all is. How vile it is that this woman is basically in bed, married, to this tabloid, while the same tabloid has been abusing her husband's son, abusing his wife on the daily, harassing, bullying, and yet Prince Charles sits there, partner with her, both of them basically at the beck and call of this same paper that is on the daily attacking his son and his daughter-in-law and her children and their children and their family. And it's just I cannot wrap my mind how you can do that to your own family. Like, I don't even get it. This is, for me, is just like, oh my gosh. And the thing about it is, and the worst part about it is, nobody seemed to say anything in England. People have just literally bought this. They are just clued into this, and they don't mind that the royal family is this way. Nobody is holding them accountable. Nobody. Thank you, Joan. Yes, their silence is consent. Yeah, it absolutely is consent. And it's just like, I don't understand it. And part of the cover up too, you think, and I mentioned Prince Charles. Prince Charles, it also overcovers, because again, Prince Charles and Camilla didn't say anything for 4 days, and then Camilla comes out with this while they're with Ukrainian church. And what this covers over as well is Prince Charles's relationship with Russians, with Russian millionaires. I mean, Dmitry Leos. We'll do another episode on Dmitry Leos and Prince Charles and that crazy I don't even know if that Russian, this guy, he was charged with money laundering and fraud and all of that stuff. Prince Charles, his company, took this guy's money and didn't return it. And, even the Scotland Charity Commission is investigating what happened to Mr. Leos's money. To this day, I don't know if Prince Charles and his corrupt friends gave Mr. Leos, Mr. Dimitri Leos, back his money. And so this covers all of that. And all of a sudden, nobody is talking about Prince Charles's connection to Russian millionaires, and it's just like, wow. It's like the press and the palace, they're all bought and paid for. It's like a whole corrupt mess. And so, anyways, that's what I was thinking. I want to look in the comments and see what you guys are thinking. Sorry, I've been just blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. Church Nelly's having a grand old time. you know. Oh, let's see. What was this at? I just missed a comment that I was looking. Yeah, Ma Jones says, yes, Louise, the Daily Mail is keeping Prince Charles and Camilla happy. I love the living Game of Thrones. Yeah, exactly. And Rosa says, I blame Lizzie for not hugging Charles when he was a boy. Well, that is the truth. That is the truth. And that's for anybody who's coming at Harry, Harry's his memoir, like, how could you say these things about your family? And how could you do an interview about your family and completely forgetting or completely ignoring the fact that Prince Charles went after his mother, basically called her a cold fish and called his father abusive. So yeah, exactly. Mara says Harry was their punching bag. Now he's got his freedom. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. They don't have a punching bag anymore in Prince Harry. So and they're not exactly willing to be making public Prince Andrew. So I don't think they're gonna use him. My thing is I feel bad for Prince Edward. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're all in a mess together. But him and the York girls, I think they're gonna be that's who they're gonna be using as their punching bag. So I wouldn't be surprised. I absolutely wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing. Dee says, I don't necessarily think silence is consent. It's unfortunate that the media is so corrupt and powerful. That is one take, DT. That is definitely one take. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that take at all. In the sense that yes, the media is corrupt and powerful. Yes, so is the royal family. And as we can see here, with Camilla having all these different areas where she can donate to, and then choosing to donate to the Daily Mail, yeah, I think they're in bed together. They are definitely in bed together. They are both corrupt, and again, Ben Elliot is, he is the chairman for the Tory party. He is also Camilla's nephew. He is also the one who was facilitating the cash for access for Prince Charles that Prince Charles is claiming, he didn't know anything about, which is a complete lie. I mean, how many of these things is going to happen before Prince Charles, again, come clean? He won't. The fact is, I hear you, but they're all corrupt. And the fact that, again, the fact that Camilla, chose to donate her money and chose that over all is blatant in your face. I don't care who knows it. I'm on the side of the Daily Mail, and I am just going to give them my money. And I don't care that the Daily Mail is going to put it on the front page, because why? It covers up the fact that my nephew has Russian connections. Give my nephew cover while he pulls the Russian stuff off his website, so nobody knows that he has, links to Russia and has partnered with Russia for the last, 15 years. Even today, I actually saw where Prince, whatever his name is, the one that was selling access. Prince Michael of Kent, the Duke of Prince Michael of Kent, who was selling access to Putin. We all remember that story, him selling access to Putin. He got like the highest honor of friendship, I guess, from Russia. And I saw today that it says like he is giving back his um he's giving back his honor to Russia. Well, good for him, but doesn't negate the fact that he was selling access to Putin, even though he claimed like, oh, it was an error, it was a mistake. I don't really have access to Putin. Meanwhile, he was the one that was saying that he was the Queen's ambassador to Russia. So again, again, it just my thing is they are all corrupt. From the Queen down, they are all corrupt. Hawkeye Allen says Prince Charles supports his wife's family and not his own. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I think he is closer. He may be, I mean, I don't know if he's closer, but he definitely supports them in ways that is, Harry and, maybe him and William are closer now. At least that's what the tabloid presses have said, that they're closer now. And for a while there, I think Harry was sort of put some of his demons, hid some of his demons so he can have a relationship with his father. But I think his father's true nature and character has been, has come out. You know, it'd be interesting to know who's the one that pulls Harry's security, for example. So I think you're right. His relationship, because obviously he loves Camilla and never did love Diana. And I think that translates to Camilla's kids. As opposed to I don't know when he sees Harry and and the other brother, what he sees. He probably sees Diana and probably just whatever. Um, um, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lydia. I appreciate it. But that's my slides. Lydia's like, yeah, that's my slides. That's my spiel on this. I'm just like looking at people's comments now and just commenting for that. So thank you guys for humoring me. Prince Charles finances Camilla's children. Oh my gosh, you guys, I heard that he has set aside accounts for Camilla's children so that they would be taken care of. And yes, he cut off Harry. Of course they misled the press with how much he gave to Harry when in the last report, the report that they do in June. And basically people took away from that report that, oh, he gave Harry $4 million, not clarifying that $4 million was split between Harry and William. And I would bet my life that was not an even split between William and Harry. So, and then on top of that, and even if it was an even split, 2 million each, Harry then paid back the $2 million for Frogmore. So basically, Harry probably ended up with zero from that. So, again, yeah. Anyways, I think they're really. Oh my gosh, Emma Day, really? You think? I mean, Emma Day says, I think they're really Charles's kids. I never thought of that, and that's some kind of tea. And it's like, oh my gosh, can you imagine? Someone on Twitter posted a picture a while ago, and on that picture, it was a picture of Prince. What is his name? Prince Philip. Prince Philip's, quote unquote friend, who was basically living with him until COVID and when he moved back into Windsor. And I didn't realize she had a daughter. And someone posted a picture, and they said in that picture, in the caption, is like, are we gonna pretend that this woman's daughter doesn't look like a female version of Prince William? And I looked at the picture and I was like, oh my goodness, this girl really does look like Prince William. And apparently, when I think she got married, and Prince Charles walked her down the aisle, and I'm like, is she a sister of Prince Charles, like Prince Philip's child? And to tell you, hi, cookies and cream. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Neva says, "Pedal that man never loved a woman. He just tolerate women. Camilla is a distraction. Prince Charles is a complicated dude. I wouldn't be surprised, but this kind of behavior in the royal family it's just accepted. The Queen accepted Prince Charles. I mean Prince Philip living with this woman while she stayed at Buckingham Palace. Like and she even invited her to Prince Philip's funeral. She was on the one of the 30 people that she invited. And so they just kind of accept this behavior. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, you know, hey, if those kids, Prince Charles, I don't know. I never heard anything about them, but would I put it past him? No. Would I put it past her? Of course not. Because they were both cheating on their former spouses. So this is the thing with the royal family. So it is just wow. I never thought of that. Um, Terry says it's been rumored really? It's been rumored for a long time. Really? Oh my gosh. Wow. I had never heard that before. I'm like a little bit shocked in this. I'm like a little bit shocked in this shot in this shot. Like I have never seen that. I've never heard of that. Wow. The rumor is Trump wanted a daughter with Diana, but got Harry. You know, I actually know about Hannah. I actually knew because Princess Diana literally said that Prince Charles wanted a daughter. And then when Harry came, his comment was something like, "Oh, it's a boy," and Princess Diana said specifically, and I think she said it to Martin Bashir, that she died inside. Something in her died when he said that, and that was the day that she knew their marriage was over because of what he said on the day that Harry was born. And there was a reporter, and I heard this video, and I saw this video of this reporter, and I don't remember, was he a reporter or a photographer? Actually, I think it was a photographer, one of the tabloids. They were outside of the hospital at the whatever that wing that they always wait for the birth. He said one of the other photographers was there with him, waiting for photos and stuff like that. And the other guy said to him, "You want to see Prince Charles leave or something like that?" And he said within 45 minutes of Prince Harry's birth, Prince Charles left Princess Diana and went off to go play polo. And it was just like, the photographer actually he did a bet with the other guy, and the other guy was like, "You want to see he get up and leave?" And lo and behold, the Prince Charles, 45 minutes after Prince Harry was born, Prince Charles bailed out of that hospital and went off and left Princess Diana there and went off to play polo. And I am just like, good grief, man. Seriously? You know? And so so Prince Charles, yeah, yeah. It's so funny. I was reading about Prince Harry having like a second father, Mark Dyer, and some of the things I was reading an article about how Mark Dyer has been there for Harry, and I am just great. Part of me feel like Harry as a father probably got a lot of what he's learned now from Mark Dyer. He obviously didn't get it from Prince Charles. So yeah, I think a lot of what Prince Harry as a father, he got it from Mark Dyer. And if the Times is to believe, I know. Well, never mind. They probably lied. But anyways, but Angela, Oh, Rosa said if Prince, who is that? I got if Prince Charles hates redhead babies, then he must not demand to see Archie and Lily. Their hairs look like more red than Harry. Yeah, I don't know if it's the hair, and I think I'm not sure it's the hair, but definitely, I definitely think it's the Diana. He was just not feeling, at that time. It was obvious he wasn't in love with Diana. They weren't happy. Diana was, she was in pain, she was hurting, he wasn't in love with her, and he wasn't pretending, and I think it's kind of the same thing, you're seeing with Prince William now with Kate. I don't know where their relationship is, but this very curious article, Petal, you are losing concentration. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I think I'm probably jumping. But I am wrapping this up now. But the parallel that I'm seeing is this article coming out about Kate and William are not going to be in a lot of events. They're not going to be doing a lot of engagements together. And I think it's the same pattern that you saw with Prince Prince Charles and Diana. When their relationship went sour, you saw them you saw them not doing relationship. You saw them not doing a lot of engagements together until they were just not doing any at all. And I think that is kind of the same pattern that you're seeing now with Prince William and Kate. So, anyways, I'm just blabbing. I was just hanging out with you guys, and I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and doing my little test of my doing a live and then trying to do photos and all of that stuff together. I don't know how it worked. I hope it made sense. Um, I know I probably jumped all over the place trying to figure out how to do everything, but I appreciate you guys so much being here and being in the chat. And thank you so much to everybody who donated and encouraged and just been here. I really appreciate it. Learning this platform is a little challenging, and so this has been my big fear. Thank you so much, Lydia. You are so encouraging. Thank you. But it is one of my big fears. And again, it's the walk on water thing. If you want to walk on water, you have to get out of the boat. And so this is one of the things that I was most afraid to do a live and try to do all of these things. And so to be able to thank you for coming and hanging out with me and allowing me to overcome this fear. I was panicking over an hour ago that I was like, I can't believe I said I'm going to do this. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and helping me to overcome this fear. And so, yes. And, at the bottom of this video, if after this live, please hit our subscribe button if you have not. Thank you guys. I haven't really celebrated this before you guys went up. I haven't really celebrated this as much as I should. We are over 3,000. We've been trying forever. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for just subscribing and sharing and all of those things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Daniel Medical who joined. Montecito shout out. Also to Kay Castillo, Montecito shout out. Welcome to the 2 Cents crew. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you guys. And I am just really excited. Please join us. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I'm going to try to do another live by myself again sometime when I get the courage to do it again. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you guys so much. And thank you for joining me again. You guys have been amazing. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Yay! Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Margaret, Angela, Anna, Sylvia, DT. Let's see who else is left. Back Queen, Rosa, Sharon, Reba, Catalina, Hawkeye L, Helen, Sharon, Emma D, Angela, if I said you. Church Nelly, I think Church Nelly went off. Ma Jones, Mira, Joan, thank you all. And anyone else that I missed, I'm sure. Fire, Vinny, Sylvia, Gian, um, everybody, thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. I love you all. You are awesome. Bright Eye, PVJ. I see you. Terry and Shield. I see you. Thank you guys. Joseph Bruno. Thank you. Fancy Fancy. Bye. Thank you guys. Angela. Did I say you, Angela? Yes, I think I said Angela. Kathy Gabriel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ladyfoot, if you're still here, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anna, you are amazing. I see all the love. Bye. I see you. Ty Fletcher, I see you. Thank you, thank you. Have a great weekend. Sylvia Dixon, thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you. I love you too. Thank you guys so much. Lydia, you are awesome and amazing and just incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hi, Cookies and Cream. I didn't even say Cookies and Cream. Hi. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye. See you guys. Thank you so much, Lydia, for moderating. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Lydia. Bye.